Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Project Football for a brand new video where we will be predicting Euro 2020 sort of brackets 21, if you will. This is kind of a beginning of, I suppose, a spree of content that we want to bring to you, and we're kicking it off with a bang with a classic little prediction video. Who doesn't like a good Euros prediction? Can't go wrong there. And as always, I'm joined by Brandon. How are you, mate?
What's up, mate? We all right?
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Very good. This should be an interesting video. It's gonna. I feel like we'll agree for the most part, but there'll be one or two where we might disagree. I think you'll probably back England more than me.
There's a couple of groups where it's definitely interesting and it's a close call. England. Well, I tell you what, if we start the tournament well, then I feel like it might get a bit easier up to the final, but we'll see.
100%, mate. 100%. So we're going to be doing this through the official UEFA Euro Predictor. If you want to go check that out, I'll leave the link down in the description so you can have a go yourself for a bit of fun. So let's get straight into it. I'll get the screen up. Share. Right, here we are. I'll go with that. Right, cool. So Group A. We're predicting whereabouts they will finish. So, Brandon, I'll kickstart with you. Who are you putting in that top spot for Group A?
See, this is an interesting group, isn't it? I feel like Italy should win the group.
Yeah.
Plainly based off how they've come back from the last tournament and not qualifying. So I have Italy first. I feel they've got the strongest team as well. For me, it's between the other three of who's going to finish second and third. Because obviously, I think it's 4 of the 6 teams that finish third the best 4, of the 6 teams goes through as well. So it actually becomes quite important in who finishes third as well. But for me, I think Italy top the group.
I completely agree, mate. I think, although it wouldn't surprise me if Italy managed to bottle it somehow, I feel like naturally you have to back Italy going into this tournament to win that group. I think they've been drawn quite luckily there. However, the 3 below them, I think either of those 3 could finish second for me.
Definitely,
personally.
yeah.
So that, I suppose that brings me on to it. I'll lead with who I think will finish second, and then I'll go over to you. So I'm back in Switzerland to grab that second spot. Who are you fancying, mate?
Yeah, I like the sound of Switzerland. They've got some good players in there. They've also been pretty decent at the tournaments. They also got to the last 4 of the Nations League as well, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Half these team. I don't really know, to be honest. This is quite raw, isn't it? I've not really decided my kind of predictions before. I fancy Switzerland, I think, as well. Yeah, but I'm definitely not writing off Turkey or Wales. They both had decent qualifying stages.
100%. Yeah, I think.
So, yeah.
I think for me, the reason why I'm back in Switzerland is because, obviously, like you said, they got to the final 4 of the Nations League. They've got some quality players in there. I apologise for my dog in the garden if you can hear that. That'll be Albert. To be fair, anyone who watches Blues Focus live streams, you might be familiar with Albert already.
Big up, Albert.
But I'll just close the window. Oh, Albert, what are you like, mate? Right, so for me, I think Switzerland getting to the final 4 in the Nations League is huge. But you look at what sort of players they've got on the books. They've got players like Mbabu, Zakaria, Shaqiri. There's a couple of others. I'm pretty sure.
I feel like they've got a striker as well called Seferovic.
Yes, Seferovic. I'm pretty sure Briel and Bolo is Swiss as well.
Yeah, these have had decent runs of games as well with scoring goals.
Jan Sommer as well.
Good keeper.
Exactly. So I think on paper, Switzerland definitely have a second place squad there. And then that does lead on to 3rd and 4th. So who are you fancying, Brandon, for that 3rd spot between Wales and Turkey?
I'm fancying Turkey.
Ooh.
Don't get me wrong. Look, this group could finish in any order. Italy might not even win it, but I just fancy Turkey because I feel like they've had a decent run of games recently. Burak Yilmaz has been on fire for them. It feels like they're a better team than they were in the previous tournaments. And Wales, for me, it just feels like they're a bit inconsistent.
Yeah.
And I don't see a game winner for them.
Is this because Tom Lawrence hasn't made the squad?
It's not because Tom Lawrence hasn't made the squad. I knew that was going to come up. But no, just for me, I don't feel like they've got a match winner in there. Maybe someone like Kiefer Moore, but even Bale's not exactly been in hearts of Wales, at least, as recently. And I feel like in the last game, they lined up with Bale and James up front, and it just doesn't feel like a team that's going to get to the knockout stages of the tournament. So for me, I've got Wales bottom and I've got Turkey in third.
I think that's fair. For me, I was going to put Wales third. On the basis that Turkey have a great squad as well. Don't get me wrong. It's a decent squad. It wouldn't surprise me if they finish second or third. But for me, Wales, you do have those big game players like Aaron Ramsey, Gareth Bale, and even Harry Wilson can come up with something on his day, as you'll know. But for me, having heard rumours of what Gareth Bale apparently wants to do after the Euros, it wouldn't surprise me if, as always, Gareth Bale virtually turns into Superman when he puts a Welsh shirt on. And I think that's evident for anyone to see whenever you've seen him play for Wales. He just turns it up to another gear. And if he is planning to retire after the Euros, you have to feel that he'd give it his all going into this tournament. And sometimes a big game player can carry a team through tournaments like this. And I think Gareth Bale did it for them in 2016 in the Euros. He took them through a lot of the tournament, virtually single-handedly. But they do have a few other decent players in there. However, they are lacking probably some captains in there. So like before they had Ashley Williams and players like that, but they don't really have that sort of a leader in there anymore.
There's a lot of more younger players in this squad now as well.
100%, and that could either work for them or against them. Even the England squad's a very young one, but we seem to do all right. However, there is a difference in quality, obviously. But I know you touched on Kiefer Moore. I think he's had a fantastic season this season, and I've not really seen him do much in a Welsh shirt, but in a Cardiff shirt, he's certainly very impressive. So I do feel Cardiff, as well as resting on Bale, it rests on whether Kiefer Moore turns up to the Euro.
Yeah, for me, if Wales manage to get out of this group, a lot for me might depend on how Kiefer Moore plays. Ultimately, I think if you give Kiefer Moore the service, he's going to score goals. So, with players like Wilson around as well and Bale, you would think that he'd get that service, but ultimately we don't really know. Wales is a bit of an unknown.
Yeah.
And like I mentioned before, there's the inconsistency that comes with that. But like I said, if Wales get through this group stage, I feel like Kiefer Moore's going to play a big part.
100%. Like I said, I do think it really depends on him, but I will go with you on this one, and I'll put Turkey third and Wales fourth. By the way, this just in as we're recording, another little breaking news, as we've done before. It is being reported that Trent Alexander-Arnold and James Ward-Prowse are set to miss out on the England squad. Trent, I can understand after some phenomenal performances from Kyle Walker and Reece James this season, but James Ward-Prowse being the most consistent player probably out of all the English players this season for Southampton, I think is harsh one considering he's played every single game over the last 3 Premier League seasons. That is impressive. So I'm quite shocked at that one, but this is just it's football, isn't it? That's what happens. I suppose if you pick someone like Trippier, at least we have a free kick taker then, but I don't think he will.
I feel like that's a strange one given how strong we are off set pieces, but we'll have to wait till tomorrow.
100%. We'll see the official lineup tomorrow. That was being reported by One Football. If any of you were curious, but I'm sure we'll do a video on the release of the initial England squad anyway. But getting on to Group B, I guess. So Russia, Belgium, Denmark, Finland. I think there's a very obvious winner there, but it wouldn't surprise me knowing football because anything can happen if somehow that team did not finish top. So, Brandon, I'll let you kickstart this one again, but I think we're both going to agree on who's finishing top in this one, mate.
I'm pretty sure we can finish on the top two as well. To be fair, I think Belgium and Denmark are obviously going to be the obviously don't. Oh, I mean, don't be surprised if Denmark win the group as well. By the way, because at the end of the day, it's a one-off game.
100%.
I feel like a lot of people underestimate Denmark, mate.
Well, Denmark turned us over last year, so
they did, and
know,
they've got a good side. I feel like Belgium are going to win the group though, just plainly because look, they're the ranked one team in the world. You'd expect them to win the group, and Denmark as well for me a close second, and I'm sure you agree.
100%. But I, to be honest, I wouldn't count out Russia on the basis that they did have such an impressive World Cup. However, that was obviously in Russia. So make of that what you will. But I wouldn't count out that Russian squad either. But it's definitely not quite on par with Belgium and Denmark. So I'm happy to just lock Belgium and Denmark in first and second, to be honest.
Yeah.
But like you said, it wouldn't surprise me if Denmark did even finish top because they're a quality squad and, they've got big game players like Christian Eriksen in there. So who knows? Who knows?
This happens a lot of the time as well when unexpected teams win groups.
Exactly. It does happen a lot. We've seen it before. I mean, I remember in 2014 World Cup when Costa Rica smashed our group and they were probably the least favourites. So
something like that, yeah.
Yeah, these things can happen in international tournaments, but we shall see. I think Belgium might have too many big game players in their squad, to be honest. Too many, I suppose, star players or flair players, if you will. But they obviously they're number one ranked team in the world, and they're there for a reason. So you've got to back them to win that group. And I feel like third and fourth is relatively easy as well. I'm just going to put it out there, and that's Russia, Finland.
I'm not too sure, to be completely honest.
Really?
I'm not. I feel like people underestimate Finland, but ultimately, I don't know loads about them. But I also feel like Russia have fell off a little bit since the World Cup, so I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure. To be honest, I don't. Even either way which these teams finish, I struggle to see either of them being the third, like within that the four best third place teams. So I don't know. Like we'll just have to see. But if you want to put Russia in there in third and Finland in fourth, then I will go with you.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, in fairness, Teemu Pukki's been on fire for Finland whenever he has played at international level. So I wouldn't count them out because they do have some decent players in there. But for me, I just feel like Russia on paper have too much for Finland. But who knows? Who knows? Anyway, moving on. Group C. Austria, North Macedonia, Ukraine, and the Netherlands. I feel like there's another obvious winner in here. However, that obvious winner are missing some talents in there. Virgil van Dijk being out for the Netherlands is a huge blow, but they certainly have the quality in there to replace him. So, what are your thoughts on that, Brandon?
Yeah. For me, Netherlands top the group with pretty much ease. I don't want to speak too soon on that, but I feel like they should ease this group. On paper, they're much stronger than the other teams. They've had a good kind of qualifying stage after missing out on the World Cup. And they've got some players in there. Even though Van Dijk's going to be missing, they've still got players in there. You've got De Ligt in there. You've got Memphis Depay. These are game-winning players. And they've
Even
had
De Vrij as well.
Like I say, they've had a really good... Yeah, they've had a really good build-up to the tournament. Strength in depth as well. I don't know whether De Vrij's going to start. A lot of the qualifying games, Daley Blind's been starting with De Ligt. But that just shows the strength in depth. And I fancy Netherlands to win the group.
100%. I think that's a given. And then these next three, it could go anyway. I feel like the favourite out of the three has to be Austria. When you've got decent players in there, like, David Alaba, RB Leipzig goalkeeper as well, the former Liverpool lad. I think he's, I can't even remember his name. But yeah, he's a half decent goalkeeper as well. So yeah, no, there are some all right players in the Austria squad, but David Alaba is obviously the main name that sort of pops out, really. And then you look at Macedonia. I know no players from Macedonia whatsoever, and I know one player from the Ukraine, and that's Conor Plianka, and that's just because he used to be a FIFA beast. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on this final three then? I don't really know what else to say, to be honest.
Look, I've obviously done a little bit of research going into the fantasy league. The video I've recorded a video that should be out soon. Well, I've spoken a little bit about this. I've not done loads of extensive research, but from the research that I've done, I feel like Ukraine are actually probably the stronger of the three.
Yeah.
But Austria, look, they've got some good, decent players in there as well. I actually don't think Conor Plianka's been called up to Ukraine for a while.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Might be wrong in that. It wouldn't surprise me, but like I say, Austria as well, someone like David Alaba. And yeah, to be honest, look, I'm gonna say Ukraine for second, but ultimately Austria could be there. But I think even though North Macedonia beat Germany recently, I feel like that's just one of those one-off games, and Macedonia will finish bottom. Yeah, they beat him 2-1.
Flipping heck, that.
Yeah,
actually,
I know, mad football.
I do remember that happening now.
I know.
Top of my head. Wow. Germany have been awful. The last
it is mad,
years,
but we'll get on to them. But I think Macedonia finished bottom despite that. But then for me, I'd say Ukraine second, but ultimately I won't be surprised if Austria finished second as well.
I'm going to back that because, Ukraine, whenever they have featured in a Euro somewhat, they've never done extremely badly. They've been all right. They always seem to qualify somehow. So, no, I'm happy to put them in there, and we'll move on from that, really. So, Group D, the big one for us, I suppose, the tasty group. Scotland, England, Croatia, Czech Republic. I'm just going to throw it out there now. Although Czech Republic, in fairness, actually haven't had that bad of a qualifying run going into this tournament, I just feel like they're going to finish bottom out of those four. And don't get me wrong, there is every reason why Scotland could, but with Scotland, there's a lot more motivation there. It's their first international tournament for a very long time, and England, they're in the same group as England. They want to beat us. They want that more than anything. So for me, Czech Republic is an early shout to be bottom of that group. I'll pass that over to you. What are your thoughts on the Czech Republic, mate?
I disagree completely, to be completely honest.
Are you fancying Scotland for bottom?
I'm fancying Scotland for bottom. You know what it is? You make a good point about it being their first tournament in a while, so the motivation could be a factor. But I feel like their squad's just weaker than all the other nations in that group.
And David Marshall's.
I just feel like they're the weakest team in the group. That's just the way it is. And after they qualified, I feel like they had a disappointing few results as well. And I feel like that kind of shows. Whereas you look at the Czech Republic team, and you've got players that are playing in the Premier divisions of countries around Europe. Like you've got Souček, who's just got European football. You've got Vaklik, who's the goalkeeper for Sevilla. Like they've got good players in there, and a lot of them are playing in the first divisions in their countries. So for me, Scotland bottom, Czech Republic third.
Okay.
But I feel like they could be. I feel like they could turn over a Croatia. I don't know. It wouldn't
surprise me if Croatia had a stinker this year.
It won't surprise me. I don't think their team's as strong as it was in the World Cup, which is why I'm also not backing them to win the group either. But I feel like Czech Republic could be. I feel like Czech Republic could be sort of one of those best third place teams. But I've got Scotland bottom, and I'll let you sort of continue from there.
Do you know what? I'm happy to back that just to wind up the Scotland fans.
I feel like the only reason they're excited for this tournament is to play us. If they beat us, they don't care if they go through. As long as they beat us, they're absolutely happy.
Exactly. You're completely right there, mate. No, I'm going to back you on that one because Czech Republic, like I said, their form going into this tournament isn't bad at all. So it's an intriguing one. However, I don't feel like Croatia, like you said, aren't going to be as strong as they were before. So on that rationale, although they have Modric, Rebic, Mandzukic,
I don't think Mandzukic will be there, to be honest.
all those itches.
Yeah,
So
I don't. To be honest, from my knowledge, I don't think there's a Mandzukic and I don't think there's a Rakitic. I could be wrong, but like I said, that's already two of their best players
I
out.
think there will be a Rakitic, but it wouldn't surprise me if there wasn't.
I haven't seen their updated team, to be honest. I'm just kind of going off their last international friendlies and qualifiers, but these players might have been injured, so I don't really know. And look, I won't be surprised if Czech Republic finished second either. By the way,
Do you know what? I was literally just about to say that. I'm happy to change Czech Republic and move them up to second. 'Cause I honestly, I've just got this feeling Croatia aren't going to live up to expectation, and they will.
I tell you what, I'm backing it.
Right, let's do it. Let's do it. It's done.
There's always one of these.
Exactly, and I'm sure it'll come to bite us later on. But Croatia third, I do think they'll be one of those high-placed third places, though.
Yeah.
So they'll still just about qualify. And then, obviously, you know, being the patriotic men we are, England top of the group. What a squad of riches we've got going into this tournament. It's probably not a good thing that we're joint favourites.
No, not in the slightest.
Not a good thing at all. Knowing England, we will somehow bottle this. But I just feel like we have so much going in our favour going into this tournament. But it would be classic England to lose to Scotland and finish bottom. But who knows? You can never truly predict the future. But I am going to back the mighty Three Lions for the group a win. What about you, mate?
Yeah, me too. In fact, to be honest, I fancy us to win all three games. To be completely honest with you, I feel like there's enough squad depth there. You're not liking where this is going, but I honestly feel like there's enough depth in the squad. I trust in Southgate, and there's how many talented players in there. Look, maybe a draw against the team if we're already through. Like I think we played Czech Republic last, don't we? So maybe if we're already through a point against Czech Republic, I don't know. But I honestly back us to win all three games.
You want my honest opinion? I believe we'll beat Croatia, we'll beat Czech Republic, and we'll draw against Scotland.
If we're through, mate, we're through.
Exactly. But I just have this feeling that one's just going to be so tasty. Both teams will want it so much, and it will finish a draw. But obviously, I hope England can win that game because that's the biggest game of the group for us. But on paper, it should be the easiest. So who knows? But let's get straight into Group E now. Then now we've covered England. So Poland, Spain, Sweden, and Slovakia. I'm personally just going to chuck it straight out there. Spain, top of the group.
Yep, for me, yeah, I think there's definitely potential for Spain to slip up.
I think there's potential for Sweden to win the group. To be honest, not going to lie.
Me too. I obviously wouldn't be surprised. But like I said, there's potential for Spain to slip up, as we've seen in the more recent tournaments. But for me, yeah, top of the group, easily the strongest team out of the four.
Yeah, 100%, mate. I think Sweden, though, Sweden's record, despite obviously the poor news about Ibrahimovic being injured for the tournament, despite coming out of retirement. So, you know, shame for him. But this Sweden squad, it's very similar to the one they had in the World Cup that did so well, but obviously knocked out by the mighty England.
They've also got Ibrahimovic back as well.
Have they?
They have.
Oh, I thought he was still out for the tournament, but
no,
I doubt he'll start. I do imagine.
No, actually, to be fair, I think they usually start with two up front, and I feel like Isaac is going to start.
Yeah, definitely.
So I won't see why Ibrahimovic might not, but I'm not as familiar with the Sweden squad.
Me neither, but they do have some decent players in there, you know, like Forsberg, obviously a decent player. Their captain is ex-Birmingham City legend Sebastian Larsson. Shout out to him, what a player. So yeah, just for that, I'm back in Sweden for second. Thoughts?
Yeah, 100% agree.
So
No issues.
exactly, and then left we've got Lewandowski FC and Hamsik FC.
Hamsik won't be playing. He's well gone.
He'll be in the squad, but he probably won't be in the starting 11.
Poland third for me. I don't think Slovakia have got it in them to finish third or fourth. Third or second.
Agree. Oh, now this group, I have to say, Group F has to be the most exciting of the lot.
Group of death.
And it is the group of death. So, it's... I think let's just get this out of the way nice and early. Hungary bottom.
What? No, I'm joking. Of course, Hungary bottom.
Say, I wouldn't have put it past you to go.
I tell you what, mate. Germany we're in one of the lower seeds for a reason, mate. Don't be surprised if they slip up. But nah, for me, Hungary are bottom.
Yeah, it's Joachim Löw's last tournament, so I feel like there will be a more improved Germany, and there'll be players in there that want to prove to Flick when he takes in charge. When he takes charge of Germany, that they are made for the national squad. So it'll be interesting, but I think Hungary have to finish bottom. However, that does lead us on to France, Portugal, and Germany. I'm just going to throw this out there now. Germany third.
Germany is third for me as well. I feel like I just mentioned, they were a lower seed for a reason. And I just feel like France and Portugal are stronger. But I fancy them to beat Hungary and get a draw against one of the other two. So
they'll be a high place third.
I feel like they'll be one of the four best third teams, yeah.
I back that. Then for me, I've gone France top and Portugal second.
Yeah. Well, for me, I'm kind of undecided here. Both have shown... Well, I feel like France have had a couple of narrow victories against opposition they really should be put into bed, but also Portugal have had some results like that as well. So... Yeah.
Thing is with France, though, you look at the World Cup, they were really, really slow to get off the mark. But when they did, they just took it by storm.
Portugal were also slow to start the last Euros as well.
Exactly, yeah. And I mean, obviously, these two teams we're talking about here are the finalists from the last Euros tournament, which Portugal went on to win. But I do think France will be looking for revenge against Portugal personally. So I feel
like France's team as a whole is better than Portugal's, or is it though? Oh, I don't know.
It is.
I'll back you. I'll back you, but I don't think he is out of form. At least not for country anyway. I don't know if that is recent record.
But for Juve, he's not been on it this year.
Well, he was a top scorer in Serie A.
But still, though, for his standard, he's dropped off on assist basis.
I don't know. I'd back him to do well for Portugal this year. He's in my fantasy.
His goal contributions are nowhere near his usual standards.
Well, they're very good for Portugal, though.
They're good for Portugal, just not good for his, I suppose, overall resume.
A bit less of a Farmers League, maybe. Yeah. I'll back France to finish top, plainly because I feel like they've got a stronger defence overall. Even though Portugal have got Ruben Diaz, I feel like France is, like I said, a bit stronger overall, and they've got Kante in midfield as well, and so on.
Yeah, I think that's fair. But I do fancy Portugal to have a good tournament this year, despite France being top of the group. However, this does now bring us on to, the third place teams. So who are you fancying, mate? That's the question. I think I'm going to go out there early and say Germany and Croatia will be able to sneak in.
I'd say definitely Germany.
Okay, we'll lock that in.
Croatia, I'm undecided on at the moment. Thing is with Croatia, Croatia then, yeah. Say Croatia. Turkey. Who's in Turkey's group again? Italy.
The Group A, Italy, Turkey. Let's go and have a look. Go on. Switzerland and Wales.
Um, I'm not sure. Can you pick them?
I did, yeah.
Oh God. I'd, I, I fancy Poland,
I'll back
and
that because Lewandowski will get a few goals, and I think that'll be good for their goal difference.
I feel like we saw them against England not long ago as well in a friendly that they actually looked okay to be fair. Definitely better than the teams that have been in previous tournaments. And I think Turkey.
So do I, just because they have easier groups than Austria and Russia, and they're reasonably in form going into the tournament. So there we are. Russia and Austria will join the eliminated teams from our tournament. However, that does bring us on to the knockout stage. Here we go. Belgium, Poland. Easy one for me. I'm back in Belgium. Who are you backing, Brandon?
Belgium.
Sorted. That is the quickest one probably yet. Italy, Ukraine. I'm back in Italy.
I'm back in Italy.
Lovely stuff. France, Turkey. I'm back in France.
I'm back in France.
This has been easy pickings so far. Oh, this is probably the hardest one yet. Czech Republic, Sweden.
Oh.
I don't know.
I fancy Sweden, I think.
So do I.
I think I fancy Sweden.
Okay, right. We'll lock in Sweden. Oh, it's tough stuff. Spain versus Croatia. I do think Croatia will give it a good go. If they have had a poor tournament, but I still think Spain will have far too much for them.
I agree.
Okay. England, Portugal. I feel
like this will be closer than you think, to be honest.
I back England because it's at Wembley.
You know what? I'll back England to beat Portugal.
Go on. Feel that patriotism. Although Portugal, I'm sure we're going to have an amazing tournament.
I'm sure watching this back will, after Portugal absolutely demolish England.
Yeah.
We might have to remove that from the channel after that happens. But that thing is though, I feel like our team is better as a whole compared to Portugal. But ultimately, it depends on Southgate. But I also like how Southgate comes with a bit more of a pragmatic approach as well.
Yeah.
So that could fall into our favour, and also players like Bruno Fernandes aren't exactly performing for Portugal. If you look at his recent stats, actually Bernardo Silva's got far better stats recently compared to Bruno Fernandes for Portugal. And you never know, there might be some injuries. Hopefully Ronaldo breaks his leg.
100%, mate. I got to back that. So, Netherlands, Germany.
I tell you what, actually.
Ooh. I actually fancy Germany because I do think that they'll get a rocket up their arse from probably having a difficult qualification, group stage qualification process, because this is Joachim Löw's last international tournament. I just feel like Germany will somehow edge this because Netherlands, we've seen so many times in recent years that they just can't go the distance.
I'll tell you what.
In the Nations League.
Yeah, and I also see weaknesses in Netherlands' defence compared to Germany's. They've obviously got Hummels back, they've got Muller back.
More big game players in that German squad.
Like I say, Van Dijk's gone. They've kind of got a centre-back partnership of De Ligt and Blind. And then they've got like Dumfries. Yeah, for me, I just feel like Germany is stronger.
Yeah, go on then. We're back in Germany. And then the last one of the round of 16, and that is Switzerland versus Denmark. Feel like probably have to back Denmark, but there is no reason why Switzerland could not turn Denmark over.
Definitely not. But like I say, I'm backing Denmark for that.
100% right. So then we'll work our way back up again. Germany, Denmark.
Denmark for me.
Sure, it wouldn't surprise me if Germany won, but I am backing Denmark because
I feel like people underestimate Denmark.
They do.
They're a really well organised, good team. Maybe not as much goal scoring threat as a lot of the other nations, but they are efficient, I feel.
Yeah, 100%. So Spain, England. Spain don't have Sergio Ramos. They lack a true leader. England are absolutely class. Jude Bellingham's going to bag a hattie. 3
Yeah.
England. No.
Oh, I definitely back England. By the way, definitely back England. I feel like Southgate's got the beating of their manager. Yeah, I feel like it'll be if this game was to happen, it'd be a similar kind of result to what happened in, was it the Nations League or a friendly where we beat them and we were like 3-0 up at half time, and our squad's even better than that than it was then.
Yeah.
Although Spain's team has probably improved slightly as well, but I definitely feel like we're stronger than Spain, to be honest with you.
It was Nations League, so we'll back England. So yeah, France, Sweden. I'm back in France.
Yep, 100%, no debate.
Sorted. And then Belgium, Italy. I am going to back Belgium, but it wouldn't surprise me if Italy turned them over.
I don't know. I feel like this is where Belgium are going to start coming into their stride.
Yeah.
In this part of the tournament, a lot of big players in that team.
100%. So Belgium, work our way back down again. We're looking at the semi-finals. Belgium, France.
Well, I tell you what, that's a hard game.
Do you know what? Although a lot of people, I think, would regularly back France, I've just got this feeling Belgium are going to do it.
Me too.
This is Belgium's time, and I think they will utilise it and they will turn France over.
I do. I agree. And I feel like the build-up to the tournament as well favours Belgium in a sense, because although I think they've maybe had some easier games, I don't know. There's something about this Belgium team, a lot of class players. They've not got your Chadleys in there anymore. You've got some really quality players in there, and they've become a bit of a unit under Roberto Martinez. To be fair to them,
Nasser Chadli and Moussa Dembele, just your Spurs rejects, all them. So
now I feel like now they have sort of De Bruyne in the number 10, and then a Tielemans, and then like a Dendoncker kind of sit in, maybe a Witsel as well.
100%. Yeah, no, I back that. I think De Bruyne will be determined to avenge the Champions League defeat with success at Belgium. And their squad on paper is just amazing. It is immense. So I just think you have to back Belgium. So that brings us on to the final semi-final, and that is England versus Denmark. I'm backing England. This is where Denmark fall because this England squad has more in it.
I feel like a narrow England win, although
2-1 in extra time.
I feel like both teams play a slightly pragmatic style, and I feel like Denmark play that pragmatic style probably the best out of any other nation in the tournament.
Yeah.
But for me, the attacking prowess, look, this could change depending on the team that Southgate selects.
However,
tomorrow,
you have to remember that this semi-final is the only game that England will not play at Wembley.
That is big, That is big.
It is being played in Rome, I believe, in Italy. So it's a tough one. It'll be the only game we don't play at Wembley, and could that be a downfall for England, or would we relish that pressure? Because it's not exactly like Denmark are at home or anything. No,
it's not. But Denmark are a dark horse for this tournament, I feel.
Yeah.
But and like I said before, I feel like they play that pragmatic style better than any other nation. But I feel like in this semi-final situation, there'll be fans there. There's attacking prowess. I feel like there's enough to break down that Denmark squad. Because let's face it, on paper, the players pound for pound are better, right? It should be.
Yeah, 100%.
I guess it's just how the team shapes up in a one-off game. But Denmark have obviously turned us over already. I don't think Southgate makes that mistake again. I feel like England will beat Denmark.
We did play a weakened lineup that day as well. It wasn't our best England squad. It was very half and half.
Yeah, but like I say, a narrow win for England for me.
So that does bring us on to the big one, the final of the Euros. Who is our Euro 2020 winner?
Oh,
as much as it pains me, I have to back Belgium.
I have to back Belgium as well.
I
I'm
think
afraid.
this will be where England's heartbreak occurs. But
But at least we can say we were beaten by the ranked number one team in the world. I
100%.
don't think anyone's got any complaints, and but there will always be people that complain, unfortunately.
True.
But yeah, but Belgium's team's ridiculously strong, and yeah, there's just I feel like there's enough there for them to cause us enough problems, and I feel like Belgium win the tournament.
I completely agree, mate. I think it's Belgium's year, and they will showcase that. And I feel like England will do everyone very proud by if we did get to the final. I think it's obviously it's not the success we all dreamed of, but it is still a big success. In the last few years, semi-final of the World Cup, final of the Euros would be an amazing record, really, for Gareth Southgate. It would just mean, could he take that one step further going into Qatar? Probably not, because we just don't seem to play well in hot circumstances. But we'll get onto that in a year or so. So who knows? But there we are, guys. Belgium are our Euro 2020 winners. So I I feel like that's a given. It's not exactly a shock. Maybe France not being a winner. I know a lot of people have picked France. I've backed France myself at
And
times.
Portugal, by the way.
And Portugal, yeah, there are some big teams out there that could more than easily win this tournament. But for us, it does seem Belgium is victorious, and I think they've been desperate to win a tournament for a while now. Obviously, they beat us in the third place playoff in the World Cup. They are just so close. They are as close as you get to winning a tournament right now, Belgium, with that squad. It's just whether they can relish the pressure. And that's the same goes for England. Can England relish the pressure? I think the only advantage we have is that I believe the final is at Wembley. So it's whether Wembley can, help spur us on. Who knows? We shall see.
A lot of our games here are at Wembley, though.
100%. It's literally only the one that isn't at Wembley, and that's the semi-final, and that's over in Rome.
Exactly. So we'll have to see, my sir.
Indeed, but that will wrap things up for us, guys. Really, we've got plenty of content coming your way very soon, and as Brandon has already mentioned, he's got a fancy Euro fantasy team video lined up for you. I will also do one myself, and you can compare our teams, and we will also keep track of our league table leaderboard as well, for you all to see. And we'll drop a league code out soon, so you can all join the league and just get involved with us, really, and we'll keep up to date with it all, and just keep plugging it regularly, really. But that's it from both of us. You got anything you need to say, Brandon?
No, that's about it, mate. I just want everybody to remain optimistic for the tournament. I know not everyone's got the same opinion as Gareth Southgate, and everyone on Twitter thinks they know more. But come on, lads, let's just back his decision. He's the manager. He's got to pick the team that he's most comfortable with, because at the end of the day, that's his job. It's not to pick the team that Twitter's most comfortable with. It's all about what he does, because he's the manager. So if there's some picks in there tomorrow that come out tomorrow that not everyone agrees with, let's just get on with it. Let's just back what he wants to do. And I feel like he's more than capable of getting us far in this tournament. But don't get me wrong, I feel like the opposition is stronger this year, but so are we. So we'll just have to see where it goes. But yeah, like I say, remain optimistic, get the beers in, and have a good tournament. Whether we do well or not, let's just have a good summer.
100%, completely agree, and I fully second that. This video probably will be out after the team has been announced, but if I can get it out before, then even better. But we will probably record a reaction video to the England squad and just let you know our thoughts on the 26-man squad that Gareth will have picked. Obviously, there will be the elimination of 7 players. Already rumours of Trent and Ward-Prowse being left out. Ward-Prowse in particular, I think, is a big name to leave out, but we will discuss this tomorrow when the official lineup is out. But as always, guys, keep right on. We'll see you in the next one. Cheers.
See you later, guys.